So today we're going to dive into one of the most fascinating and, frankly, kind of weird ideas in all of biology. It's all about how your eyes, which are constantly exposed to everything, somehow manage to stay so calm and clear. It's like they're a little VIP section inside your own body with their own set of rules.
I mean, really think about it. Your eye is this wet, open surface getting bombarded with dust, pollen, germs, you name it, every single second. Logically, it should be a total war zone for your immune system, right? Just permanently red, swollen, and angry. But for most of us, it's not. So what's the secret? How does it pull that off?
Well, that secret has a name: immune privilege. And this isn't the eye just being ignored by the immune system. No, it's the total opposite. It's an active, super smart strategy. The eye basically tells the body's over-the-top security team to, take a chill pill. It knows that the collateral damage from a full-blown immune attack would be absolutely catastrophic for our vision.
So how does the eye actually do this? Well, it's a multi-layered defense. And the very first layer is simple but brilliant. It builds a fortress. The eye physically walls itself off from all the chaos going on in the rest of the body using these things called the blood-ocular barriers.
It's really the most basic rule of security, isn't it? If you don't want trouble getting inside, you build some seriously strong walls and you lock the doors. And when it comes to this, the eye is a master architect, creating this tightly controlled little world just for itself.
And it doesn't just build one wall, it builds two. Up at the front of the eye, you've got the blood-aqueous barrier, or the BAB. It's guarding that whole anterior chamber. Then, in the back, protecting the absolutely vital neural tissue of the retina, is the blood-retinal barrier, the BRB. And these are not just simple walls. Think of them as high-security gates, made of these super tight connections between cells that are just meticulous about stopping stray proteins, germs, or immune cells from ever leaking in.
And this is where you really see just how critical these barriers are. Because when they fail, like they do in diseases such as uveitis or diabetic retinopathy, you get the exact disaster the eye works so hard to prevent. Inflammation just runs wild, and tragically that can lead to the loss of vision. So yeah, these walls, they have to hold.
But okay, what if something does get past the walls? A fortress is never enough on its own. And this is where the eye's strategy goes from smart to pure genius. It doesn't call in the soldiers, it sends in the diplomats. And this whole process is known as the ACIOD protocol.
ACAID stands for Anterior Chamber Associated Immune Deviation. Let's break that down. Basically, when a foreign substance, an antigen, manages to sneak into the front part of the eye doesn't freak out and sound the alarms. Instead, it captures the intruder and launches this system-wide campaign to, get this, re-educate the entire body's immune system to teach it that this one specific thing is not a threat. It is de-escalation on a cellular level. It's incredible.
Okay, so here's how this whole diplomatic mission plays out. An unknown antigen arrives. These special diplomat cells swoop in and capture it. But instead of going off to raise an army, they take a trip to the spleen. And in the spleen, they train up peacekeeper cells. These are special T cells whose whole job is to suppress immune attacks. These peacekeepers then travel all over the body, basically declaring a system-wide peace treaty for that one specific antigen. It's an amazing way to prevent the body from starting a war with itself.
Now, this amazing biological strategy, it isn't just a cool piece of trivia. It has huge consequences in the real world, especially for doctors and patients. It creates both these incredible opportunities and some pretty unique challenges.
You want to see the single most powerful example of immune privilege in action? Here it is: corneal transplants. Because of this unique system, they are the #1 most common and by far the most successful type of transplant performed on humans.
And the reason for that incredible success rate is exactly what we've been talking about. Because the eye is so good at telling the immune system to stand down, surgeons often don't even have to do the complicated tissue matching that's required for almost every other organ transplant. The eye's built-in tolerance does most of the heavy lifting, and that leads to way, way lower rejection rates. But, and this is a really big but, this immune privilege is a classic double-edged sword. On one hand, it's fantastic. It gives us this huge success with transplants and even things like gene therapy. But that same tolerance creates a really dangerous blind spot. The exact same mechanism that tells the body to welcome a new cornea can also let a dangerous tumor, like uveal melanoma, grow completely undetected, hiding right there in plain sight from the body's security systems.
So when you put all the pieces together, you realize that the eye's very survival depends on this constant, incredibly delicate balancing act. It's always weighing the need to fight off germs against the absolute need to prevent the damage that its own defenses could cause.
And that biological problem becomes the #1 clinical challenge. For doctors,
Every single decision is about trying to maintain that perfect balance, tipping the scales just enough to fight a disease without accidentally destroying the very vision they're trying to save. It really is the core principle of medicine for the eye.
So think about it. The eye's first instinct isn't to attack and destroy. It's to understand, to tolerate, and to de-escalate, all for the greater good of the whole system. You know, it's a pretty profound lesson from biology, this idea of finding a more sophisticated solution than just brute force. And it kind of makes you wonder, where else could we apply a lesson like that?